Have you ever noticed the more you stress about money, the more things seem to go wrong? And it starts to feel like no matter what you do, there's never enough. Welcome back to your Money Mindset Reset. Today is day 9. And today might feel a little different. We're stepping into something that might be slightly outside your comfort zone, and that's okay because everything we've been building, your story, your relationship with money, your reactions, your values, the paradox of control, it all leads to this. Today, we're talking about something you may have heard before, but maybe never understood in a way that felt practical. And that idea, the idea that what you focus on expands, or what you may have heard of as the law of attraction. And before you check out, stay with me. This isn't about magic, it's about attention and focus. Your brain is constantly filtering your reality. There's a part of it called the reticular activating system that acts like a search engine. It scans your environment looking for evidence of what you already believe. It's why when you decide to buy a red car, you suddenly see red cars everywhere. They were always there. Your brain just wasn't flagging them. Your thoughts and emotions work the same as signals. And those signals shape what you notice, how you interpret things, and the decisions that you make. And that creates a pattern. It creates a loop. And I've lived this loop firsthand. When I was in college, money was a constant source of stress. I was trying to minimize student loan debt while paying rent, car expenses, and everything else that came with just living. And it felt like every time I made a little progress, something would come up. A car repair, an unexpected expense, things that weren't optional. I needed my car to get to school and to work. There was no wait and see. It had to be handled. And most of the time, that meant credit cards, which created interest, which made everything feel tighter. And what I didn't understand then was that I wasn't just dealing with money stress. I was completely focused on the lack of it constantly. And then lack is your primary focus. The problem feels like it just keeps repeating because your brain is working overtime finding evidence that it's true. And here's the part that really got me later. When more money didn't fix it, because you might think that the solution is just more money. I know I did. And after I got married, there was more money, more stability, less day-to-day scrambling, but something else disappeared. My voice in how it was spent, my control over decisions, and over time, I became more disconnected from money, not less anxious about it. I worried about how it was spent. I worried about the conversations around it, and I slowly turned that disconnection into resentment because I had tied money to control and I handed that control away. So even with more money, there wasn't more freedom and I wasn't less afraid of it. What I eventually had to face was this. I had to become capable, not dependent on someone else's income or someone else's decisions. That's what pushed me to start learning. And that's the real point here. Two people can be in the exact same financial situation. One wakes up stressed, scanning for what's wrong. And if you look long enough, you'll always find it. The other wakes up grounded, looking for what's working. And then they find that. They have the same bank account, the same bills, the same life, just a different focus, different experience, and different decisions. And then they have different outcomes over time. So when your focus is on lack, you hesitate, you avoid, you react. Everything feels urgent and out of control. When your focus shifts to possibility, you learn, you act, you grow, not because the problems disappear, but because you just approach them differently. The goal isn't to pretend that everything's fine. It's to stop letting fear do all the driving. Go ahead and tell me in the comments, where does your focus go when money stress hits? Is it toward the problem or toward a solution? Now, there's no wrong answer. I'm just curious where you're starting from. And this is the time we're going to grab that journal, and we're going to do this in 4 steps. Step 1, write down one recurring thought you have about money. The one that shows up on repeat. There's never enough. I can't get ahead. Money is always stressful. Whatever it is, just write it down honestly. And then step 2 is to flip that, not into something fake, into something that's intentional. There's never enough becomes, I'm learning how to manage and grow what I have. That's not denial, that is changing your direction. Step 3, write down 3 things, even the small ones, that are already working in your financial life. Money that showed up, a bill that got paid, a need that got met. Start training your brain to find evidence of the good things too. And step 4, commit to that redirect. When the old thought shows up, and trust me, it will, replace it with the new one. Not forever, just today. And then do it again tomorrow. And then do it again the next day. Because this is where the pattern starts to loosen. You don't have to ignore your reality. You just get to choose what you focus on inside of it. That choice, made consistently over time, is what starts to shift the pattern and create a new pattern. You have more control than you think. You've got this. I'll see you tomorrow for day 10, where we take this further and talk about manifestation and what manifestation actually is. Not the eye roll version, the real one. I'll see you then.